By now, most of you are probably aware that a bunch of transcripts got released and that many of these Russiagate conspiracy theorists were going on TV even though they knew there was no evidence of collusion between Trump and Russia. You've also probably heard a bit about the Michael Flynn case and how the FBI were going to close the case, finding no reason to continue. And then some rogue FBI agents were like, no, don't do that. We want to get him to lie so we can get him fired or prosecute him. And then they went after his kid, ultimately for pressuring him into lying. Well, yes, now you're probably aware that that case was dropped because of improper activities due to the FBI. But I got to tell you, man, after all this, after all of the debunking, after years, Robert Mueller and now this, you'd think the media would chill, or at least MSNBC would. No. There's got to be an award for something like this. You know what the Pulitzer Prize is? You do this great journalism, this great written piece, and we'll give you this shiny award and a fat stack of cash to go along with it. What's the opposite of that? MSNBC claims Putin was behind dropping the Michael Flynn case. I knew it! After all the evidence we've seen, after none of the evidence we've seen, after concluding the Mueller case, and there's no collusion, they're still trying to claim it's Vladimir Putin. Man, I absolutely love it. Nothing you say or do will change these people's minds. They live in a paranoid, delusional state. And I've said this before. Now, I have to wonder if Alex Jones is going to get banned, right? And they're going to ban this documentary that's going around with this doctor talking about Fauci or whatever. When are they going to ban MSNBC? Come on, man. MSNBC claims Putin was behind dropping the Michael Flynn case. It's so absurd. Come on. Is YouTube going to do anything about this conspiracy nonsense? Nope, because it's not about whether or not you're pushing conspiracy. It's about whether or not you are a corporate media player. If you're not, we're going to wipe you out. But if you're MSNBC, we'll prop you up. Great. I look forward to seeing them on the front page as they screech about Vladimir Putin lurking behind every corner, coming to get you. After weeks of Andrea Mitchell reports repeating Chinese Communist Party talking points, Andrea Mitchell and former FBI Assistant Director of Counterintelligence and current MSNBC contributor Frank Figliuzzi declared on Friday without any evidence that Russian President Vladimir Putin had something to do with the Justice Department's decision to drop the case against former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. You know, I really want to laugh, but I also really want to cry. Are we ever going to get out of this nightmare? What can be done when they keep doing this? When they tell me they will ban me for saying a name? That if my content goes in, flies in the face of the World Health Organization, we will remove you, you conspiracy theorist. Yet MSNBC for years has been ranting and raving. The only difference between MSNBC and Alex Jones is that Rachel Maddow isn't standing up screaming and ripping her shirt off like Alex Jones does. But if she wants to get up, and I'm not, this story's not necessarily about her, but if the MSNBC hosts want to stand up and screech and spit and yowl about nonsense they've made up, certainly at some point, YouTube's going to be like, hey, guys, you can't put up conspiracy content anymore. No, it's the approved conspiracy theory, I guess. After Mitchell breathlessly summarized the stunning and unprecedented decision of Flynn, Mitchell saw something sinister in the Thursday phone call between President Trump and Putin. Quote, Frank, first of all, the implications here and the fact that he called Vladimir Putin yesterday. And according to the White House announcement of this and the description of it, there was no mention of the Russia probe and the election probe. But the president himself discussed that with Vladimir Putin and the facts that in his view now that the Russia hoax was dispelled, they could get back to business. What do you mean? You just perfectly explained why Donald Trump, the president of the United States, contacted the leader of a foreign country. For the longest time, they've been screeching that Russia, and it makes it very difficult for Trump to actually negotiate and deal with Russia. And now that it's all coming undone and falling apart, he calls up Putin and says, just want to let you know, now that this weird scandal thing's all over, we can start negotiating. Remember when Barack Obama leaned in and said, wait till my reelection and that can be more flexible for Putin? We all saw that. Where's the screeching about that? Yes, of course. It's all about Russia, apparently. She then asked Figliuzzi to talk to me about your counterintelligence concerns here. Figliuzzi was certain that the phone call and the decision to drop the case were connected, saying, yeah, I think they're actually linked. The dismissal of the charges against Flynn and conversation by the president with Vladimir Putin. stone cold adversary of the United States on the very same day. That's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Donald Trump is calling Russia to do diplomacy. Like, what should we do? Should we ghost Russia? And Trump's like sitting there and Russia's texting like, yo, what's up with these sanctions? We got, budding conflict. How are we going to deal with this? And then what? These MSNBC people are like, no, Trump, don't respond. Just leave him on read. See what he says. No, Donald Trump's going to be like, hey, I just want to let you know we're clearing up this stuff. We can get back to normalizing diplomatic relations or whatever. What do you think is going on? Do these people, this is the same network that had this dude on, Jonathan, I think it's Jonathan Chait was his name, arguing that Trump may have been an asset of the Russians since the 80s. Why can't they stop? You know what? You know what it is? It's just good ratings, man. It's good ratings. Whether Trump is allegedly a puppet of, or merely trying to appease Putin was left unsaid. But Figliuzzi maintained the Flynn investigation was an urgent matter of national security. The Flynn interview that is at issue here by the FBI was all about resolving the question of whether Mike Flynn was a counterintelligence threat to the nation as he entered into the national security advisor role. And as we know from recent reporting, the FBI was going to drop that investigation until certain rogue FBI agents stepped in. It was about figuring out how to neutralize, resolve, and counter that threat. There wasn't one. What threat? So when the president gets on the phone with Vladimir Putin and the topic comes up in the same conversation, the concerns have not yet been resolved. A retired three-star general is a national security threat. That's a bit of a stretch. Mitchell and Figliuzzi are simply wrong. The Trump-Putin phone call was on Thursday, the same day that the DOJ made the decision public. But the recommendation to drop the plan was made last week by U.S. Attorney Jeff Jensen. So not only are they pushing fringe conspiracy theories, they're straight up wrong on their timeline. Come on, YouTube. Are you going to do something about this? Look, I'll be honest, man. YouTube, they do some favors for me. They really, really do. I've got a partner manager. I can get certain mistakes resolved. But why is my content on the back end of the recommendations, right? If you go to my channel, you're probably going to see tons of Fox News on the autoplay suggestion. If you go to other progressives, you're going to get MSNBC. Hey, man, at least Fox News wasn't wrong about everything. But why are you directing people away from my channel when I'm correcting the conspiracy that you keep propping up, YouTube? It's because none of these journalists, none of these news organizations are going to smear or slam YouTube for propping up this kind of conspiracy because they all believe it. No amount of evidence, no amount of released transcripts will do anything to convince these people that they are screeching nonsense. They are paranoid and they are delusional. And the only reason it's not going to go away is because YouTube loves that sweet, sweet Skrilla. They're not going to ban these videos. Maybe if they did, these people would stop believing this fake garbage. Case in point, they didn't even get the timeline of the phone call right. No, YouTube's not going to do anything about it. But it's no surprise to me then, well, that Americans' perception of journalists slightly lower since 2018. Perceptions of ethical standards on par with last year. So this is actually kind of interesting. Check this out. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Pew says, percentage of U.S. adults who have each level of confidence that journalists will act in the best interests of the public. 48% is the net, meaning the majority of Americans believe journalists are not acting in the best interests of the public. We can see that 39% believe they'll act a fair amount in the interest of the public, and only 9% think they act a great deal for the benefit of for the interests of the public. Now take a look at this one. Percentage of U.S. adults who say journalists have blank ethical standards. High is at 37 and very high is at 6. 43% net. I kid you not, 57% of Americans as of this year do not believe that journalists have ethical standards to varying degrees, either low or very low. And it is down quite a bit. It's down 2 percentage points. Should anyone be surprised when you then see stories like this from BuzzFeed? Oh, BuzzFeed, you gotta love it. Look, it's not just about the Russia conspiracy stuff or the social media censorship. That plays a big role. But it's about the fact that there's a whole industry built upon this. YouTube is bending over backwards to avoid losing advertisers. So if MSNBC comes out, YouTube panics. And you can see the bias, right? You can see the bias in how things are framed, in which group someone thinks they might be more associated with. Personally, I don't view myself as having very much to do with the left. That's why many of my videos are talking about leftists and not talking about conservatives. You can see the inverse for other progressive commentators. They address their audience the way the way they address their audience and the way they talk about things shows who they think their audience is. So I often do address the progressives because I've actually done a survey on this. And I know there are very few progressives, but a decent amount of liberals who do watch my content. You're probably one of them. And then there are many, mostly libertarians, surprisingly. Many people just identify as like moderate libertarian types. But you look to some of this content and you'll see exactly how they ignore certain violations of ethics if it favors who they think their audience is, right? That's why MSNBC will keep spouting this nonsense. They don't think conservatives are going to watch, so they're going to make content that's favorable, that confirms the biases of the resistance. We know, and they could say the Russia stuff is fake. They don't want to. Why stop now, man? There's money to be made. That's sweet, sweet green. Come on. Check out this story from BuzzFeed. Kind of exemplifies a bit of what I'm saying. See if I can zoom out a little bit. The viral Costco clapback isn't real, and the comedian who made it thinks that this is all very funny. If you've been anywhere on social media, you've probably seen this post supposedly showing Costco clapping back at a customer complaining about the chain's mask policy. No. If you're a leftist, you've seen the fake meme that's being pushed around, convincing people that Costco is insulting its customers. It's not real. So why isn't BuzzFeed writing a story that says something like, man publishes fake news memes to manipulate people? The reason is because the meme is anti-conservative and BuzzFeed's audience tends to be leftist. So long as this makes leftists laugh, they're going to celebrate the guy and show happy pictures of him instead of calling it out for what it is, a guy who's spreading disinformation. I love how these left-wing news outlets, they try to complain about the right-wing smear machines. CNN is screeching and freaking out over OAN, giving them free publicity. Yet BuzzFeed, when they actually talk to a guy who's making fake news to manipulate people, they're just like, it's funny. Take a look at this post, whatever you want to call it. Here's a Facebook post that says, I will not shop at Costco until you remove the mandatory mask rule. Costco says, thank you for taking such a brave stand, Sharon. We look forward to the documentary they will make about you someday. Jack responds, wow, not a very professional response, Costco. Looks like I will be getting a membership refund myself. It should be a choice. We've chosen not to refund you. It's fake. A guy made it. He's trying to make it seem like Costco is going like, snapping back. It's just not real. In fact, there's actually a viral post right now where someone says, I won't shop at Costco so long as they require masks. Someone responds, glad you won't be coming because those of us that are smart are trying to take precautions and don't want you here. And the guy responds, no, I really do mean it. I respect that. I don't want to infringe on you, so I won't go to the store. And then the response is remarkable, saying, wow, I really respect it. Thank you very much. That's what it's all about. Thank you. Have a great weekend. And it's like, it was actually a nice conversation. They want to claim right now, because you go on these meme sites, you go on Facebook, you go on Reddit, they're feeding you fake stuff like this. The people who are boycotting Costco are saying straight up, Costco, you told us we can't come in without a mask. They say, then we won't. If you'd like us back, you can change the rule. So both are in agreement. There's no controversy. Now, of course, Costco wants the customers. It's not, the really funny thing about this right here is that Costco isn't doing the mask rule to try and gain customers. They're doing it out of a general fear. They're doing it out of what they're hearing. There's no inverse boycott where people are like, everybody, they instituted a mask rule. Let's all run to Costco. That's not happening. So yes, a boycott makes sense. But anyway, the more to the point, BuzzFeed shows this article that's very obviously fake. Here's the guy who's making the fake news and they love it. It's funny. But Costco never posted the comments. It's all the work of a 33-year-old comedian in Los Angeles named Ben Palmer. How about a far-left conspiracy theorist who's making fake news? Oh, they're not going to go that far, right? Why? Because the guy is a comedian making silly joke posts. And fine, more power to him. But look, in this regard, is he going to get flagged on Facebook? This is apparently going viral. Apparently not. I mean, maybe he will. I don't know. It happens. One of Palmer's bits parodying customer service responses. Oh, parody! not far left fake news. He has a page on Facebook called Hope This Helps, which is where the screenshot of the fake Costco comments originated. Well, let's pop it open and see if Facebook's flagging him for putting up fake news. Someone on my TikTok account said you should go respond to people who are complaining about the mask policy about that Costco made. So I went over there and responded, Palmer told BuzzFeed News. The 33-year-old man with a TikTok account. This isn't the first time his work has gone viral. In 2018, he made a City of Atlanta parody Facebook page, which got shut down after he posted the city would implode Stone Mountain. It's not like he's keeping his trolling a secret. He posts about his work on YouTube as well as TikTok. I get it. It's not necessarily a puff piece, but BuzzFeed is one of these outlets, like many of these other far left outlets, that have insulted and lied and denigrated conservatives or right wing memes who have fear mongered and shrieked. Yet when a guy is doing this in the other direction, it's just he's trolling and he knows it. Well, he still thinks it's very funny when people think his work is real. This time, the Costco post has really taken a life of its own, even receiving its own Snopes debunk. Usually there's a decent amount of people who know it's not real, but this time it seems like it's a larger amount of people who think it is real. The post has been shared all over social media, and customers are even posting it to Costco's real Facebook page, thanking them for their candor. And apparently Costco isn't responding. He says, I have all these people that support me and follow my stuff who know what's going on. They always get a kick out of it because they see their friends share it and they know that it's me, said Palmer. It's kind of just like a fun little joke that we share. Fun little joke that we share. I am now going to bestow upon you a horrifying truth. I believe this data was 2018. They found that the top shared, the most frequently engaged with, I believe it was, conservative source was Fox News. Yikes, man, right? Am I right? Fox News? Oh, geez. Conservative opinion. I don't know, man. It's feeding people all these misleading claims because they're supporting Donald Trump and all that stuff. Well, I'll tell you what. Fox News is a news organization, and you can call them biased. This is where it gets really, really bad. Do you know what the most engaged with source for the left was? Occupy Democrats. All right. Now, look, we can all have our criticisms of Fox News. They're not perfect. I mean, at least they were right in the whole Russia nonsense. But Occupy Democrats is quite literally a conspiracy theory fake news meme page that just posts fake things all day. Think about what this guy does. Think about that fact for a second. The left is just making fake things in hopes that it goes viral. This guy made a fake thing. It went viral and he's laughing and loving it. Fox News doesn't write fake news. Yeah, they write biased news. Sometimes they write false stories. Sometimes they have to correct. But foxnews.com is not the same as Fox News' cable channel. The same is true for CNN, right? So Fox will put out real information, often framed in a way or often highlighting issues conservatives mostly care about, but they really do write about everything. And they actually do have some liberal commentators and op-eds. And conservatives engage with that. All right. You know, I'd prefer it if we had a better news source than all of what we get, but this is what we have. All right. The most I can say is when I do see things from Fox News that are questionable, I do call them out. And you'll notice it because I do use Fox News as a source. But Occupy Democrats, I'm pretty sure like nothing they put out is fair and accurate. They'll put out things that are falsely framed or misleading, and that's where people on the left get their information. So it's no surprise we're seeing channels like MSNBC still pushing the Putin stuff because I don't think they're actually capable of understanding reality. I don't think evidence works on these people. I know it's a weird inversion from where it was when I grew up. You had the religious right that didn't care for evidence. And then you had the left where you had people like Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart actually called out Joe Biden. Jon Stewart actually uncritically showed Project Veritas and criticized the left, saying, what are you doing? Criticized journalists even. Yeah, that was when it was fair. But I'll tell you what, man, the group of people that were like leaders on the left that were watching Jon Stewart, they've moved over to the right. Now, not everyone calls themselves right wing. Many of them call themselves politically homeless. But I was a big fan of Jon Stewart, and I still, hold similar views to basically where I was back when he was hosting The Daily Show. You look at Trevor Noah now, and it's unrecognizable. It's just garbage, gutter trash. You look at all the people who used to work on Jon Stewart's show and where they've gone, and now it's formulaic left-wing trash. The thought leaders have left the left because the left got taken over by lunatics. And now you have conservative thought leaders and a libertarian push emerging. Someone told me that the new conservative movement is a very live and let live libertarian, very liberal kind of thing with a traditional social bent, something to that effect. So where does that leave liberals who agree on almost all of that, except for a little bit of the social issue stuff? Considering how far left the left has gone, people like me have certainly walked away, whatever that means. Now, a lot of people use walk away to reference like going to the right now. That's not necessarily the case in how I view it, but it may be the case in terms of how the branded walk away movement views it. What I can tell you is there are a lot of people that see this stuff and they want nothing to do with it anymore. It's just insane fringe conspiracy stuff. And I'll tell you what, man, there are insane fringe conspiracy people on the right, 100%. We know it. They've always been there. But YouTube banned all of their content. It's just purged. You can't really watch it anymore. For the left, they can turn on good old cable TV. YouTube prop it right up on the front page. MSNBC screeching, Putin's coming to get you. And he's not. I mean, look, he's an adversary of the U.S., but this is just insane at this point. So I'll leave it there. Stick around. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. youtube.com/Timcast. It is a different channel. In the description below, click that link, timcast.net. And you'll be taken to a wonderful new YouTube channel you've probably never seen before. Because apparently people don't understand I have 3 different channels. So click the link in the description to timcast.net and you will see the other channel if you're not familiar with it. And I'll see you all there at 4 p.m.